What a mess, what a mess. So here's part two. I'll do a quick kind of rough update here. So I think you've seen the motor mounts already. Should really watch part one, see what I've been over so far. So wiring's done. I got the whole wiring harness and the accessories and the computer and the fuse box all from a cool little junkyard out in the middle of nowhere. And I know it looks like a mess over here. This is my O2 sensors. They're hanging out over here till I make an exhaust. Everything else is done though. And I know it's not the prettiest, but I'm gonna put a BMW engine cover on this, so you won't see anything anyway. This is our positive post. So we got this one that goes up and down there. That's the starter wire. And those two that go back in there, and the big one there are for the fuse box, the ECU, and the fuel pump, and the starter button. Not to bore you or anything. So I was having a problem. Oh, come on, light. Thank you. So I was having a problem trying to get it to start earlier this week, and my ground was too small, I figured out. So I got bigger bolts. They're big self-tapping bolts, which means they have like a drilling head on the front. Can't really see that, but yeah, it's pointy. And I used three, I think they're like 4 gauge, 8 gauge, I have no idea. They're pretty freaking thick. I used 3 of them and crimped them onto those little crimps I got at Ace Hardware. What else? New mass airflow sensor, it's like $60 on Rock Auto, freaking awesome. I got flanges, so I got a header kit, so I'm gonna weld the headers up once I have I need to get a radiator core support and a radiator and get my accessories on, so I know how I need to route things kind of roughly. I got a new fuel line. At first I put on normal fuel line, which only takes about 50 psi, and it popped, so I got fuel injection fuel line, which takes like 250 psi, so it should be fine. I think the problem was I was leaving the fuel pump on for too long, and it was overpressurizing the lines, because you can see this little vacuum line here that goes to this little dealio. So that's the fuel pressure regulator, and it's got that vacuum line that goes up over here to the manifold. So I assume it doesn't work, it doesn't regulate the fuel pressure unless there's vacuum being drawn, which means the engine needs to be running, or at least trying to run. So if you just turn the fuel pump on, you can pop a line, unless you have good line. So I have good line now, it's all good. I think that's about it up here. So wiring's done, fuel's done, air's done. Should start, right? Maybe. Inside, got a new battery cutoff switch. The old one broke internally. Like there's a big plastic deal inside, and it just snapped, so it wasn't working anymore. So I got a new one. This one's a 2-post instead of a 4-post, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to kill the car either way. Because when you turn that off, basically everything is getting power from the post up there, and the post gets its power from the battery back there, and this is, the gate between the two. So anyway, I got the fuse box and ECU just kind of hanging there for now. I'll make some nice brackets to mount them to, and I'll probably make like a little sheet metal shield to keep my passengers from kicking that stuff. And you see that's where the positive goes on the fuse box. At least I think. I should probably check that and make sure I'm getting, because I don't think I'm getting spark right now, so I'll have to go through all the fuses. So there's my fuel. You can see the fuel pump, it's grounded right there, right there, to the chassis. And then this is the feed. I just used 2 wires because I didn't have one thick wire, so I just used 2 thin wires. And they run up, they're not attached to the switch, they just run along those lines to look nice. They run up to that relay, that orange thing in there. And that, I think that red wire, no, the blue wire goes directly to the battery, and then the other thin wires go up to that switch up there. So let's see here. These two switches here are not active. This one here, oops, this one here is the fuel pump. It's not going to turn on because the battery's not on. This is the arming switch, and then that's the start button. This gives power to this and this, so you have to flip this up, arm it, and then turn the fuel pump on, and then hold the starter button down. Before you do any of that, you got to turn that thing. And I'm not going to try and start it right now because I've been trying all night and it's not starting, and also it's very late. So that's where we are. Shifter's hooked up. It's in neutral. Still need to mount the radiator, or the transmission cooler, mount the water pump, waiting on my alternator bracket so I can mount the alternator and get all that figured out. I really just want to weld some headers up. Oh yeah, I guess quick notes on the headers. Try not to make this run too long. I'm going to run them forward on either side, and then this one will sweep over in front of the belts and behind the radiator, and they'll merge around here, and then the downpipe will kind of go back under that engine mount. And I'm thinking hopefully I can fit 4-inch all the way back. Not at first, I'll just do like 3-inch at first, but when it's turboed I'll do 4-inch. And that's what I was getting to. So I'm running them funky like that. First of all, because it's much... What the... What is that? It's oil. Who's leaking oil? That's new. That might just be coming out of the oil cooler line. I should probably block that off. Is that blocked off? I tell you, this light is a piece of junk after I dropped it several times. Come on, baby. Thank you. You son of a bitch. Okay. Yes, that is not blocked off as far as I can see down there, so I'll mess with that. Anyway, so exhaust will come forward, converge, go back, and that way later on, come on light. Thank you. So they'll converge here-ish, and then that way I can just put my turbo here. All I'm going to have to do, screw this, all I'm going to have to do is basically weld on a turbo flange, maybe add a little pipe, weld on a turbo flange, and then dump it however I want. Probably mount the turbo upside down. So yeah, it's coming along